Welcome to the Roast Podcast, episode 29, guys. Live from the footy club, local. We can't go to our houses as usual, so we're back here. Everyone's looking at us like we're weirdos. This kid just looked at me like I was the weirdest person in the world. Kid, it's a podcast.
That is what we get for. Yeah, that is what we get for doing it in, the public eye.
This is cool though. It's cool, people can listen in if they want. I don't think they do want to listen in, but
no, probably not. But
it's awesome.
It is interesting.
And today this is the C one. We can't say his full name, but that's what it starts with. We've got other topics we'll get through first. Do we just want to start on Patrick again?
No.
We've already done the Patrick roast.
Mitchell,
Fredo Fox or Caramel Koalas. That's one of my favourite. That's like one of the only funny bits I've ever had in the podcast history, when I just ranted on Patrick for 15 minutes.
I still can't believe that he had an opportunity to go to the Brownlow medal and ask fucking, what's his name? The bloody,
one of the best ever.
Patrick ever, to, a question, and he asked, Fredo Fox or Caramel Koala. It's like, oh my god, of all the fucking whiffed opportunities, missed chances.
I would have like 100 questions just off the top of my head for that guy, and
exactly.
He just says that.
And he's like, he probably thought he'd be funny, the funny segment, the funny guy for the bit.
He's a funny guy.
Do it for the bit, and it's just like, what a joker.
Do it for the meme. Well, let's go to have a look at the podcast. We could talk more about Pat. I mean, I don't really mind talking about there's no real point.
Probably.
It's been too many years.
Fucking stupid shit.
It's been too long.
Despacito. I swear they took that one down.
Despacito 2. Oh, that's it. Okay, I read Do You Know How Much I Say. We'll just say that. Why do we get obsessed with the same song? Oh, Despacito 2 will start with me as well. They did take that down. I downloaded it. Oh, God. What the hell?
They did take it down. That's so sad. You've downloaded it though. You got to send it.
Yeah, it's somewhere on one of my hard drives. It's definitely on one of them.
I need it.
And I'll extract it and send it to you. I'll upload it again as an unlisted video.
God.
I'll do that on Saturday.
That video was so funny.
It's
so funny.
A masterpiece. I remember when we played it to Matt, and his face was just like, "What the fuck are you guys listening to?"
This is what you guys get up to while you're in the bloody office.
That reminds me, dude. In our office, in Meme Bay.
Meme Bay.
Is that still up? Meme Bay?
Meme Bay. I don't know.
Oh.
I have to check.
I can't go to your house to check. There's a song that I heard last night. You're not into rap, are you? Like rappers, like.
Not particularly.
I'm not into it either. It's not really my thing, but I just clicked on it because I thought it was a funny looking thumbnail of all these dudes in the showers at like prison. And I listened to the song, and. No, it gets we'll get to that later.
You said fucking dudes in the shower. That's instantly what I know.
Fucking hell. No, well, this is the prison song. This is Lil Nas's new song. And I listened to it, and I don't even like rap. It's one of the best songs I've ever heard in my life. The first time I listened to it, I was like shocked at how brilliant it was. I listened to it today in the car. I literally go goosebumps listening to it. I get those goosebumps every time. You go around. And I reckon you'd like it. I don't know if it's your thing, but it's not my thing though. That's the thing. So if it wasn't my thing and I thought it was one of the best songs I've ever heard, then
I mean, there's always going to be a banger out there.
Of course.
That no one's ever heard of except for like one or two people.
Yeah.
Like you could make fucking god tier music, and it just in this day and age, it might just not get the reach.
Yeah.
Fucking stupid shit.
There's some great songs that only have like
honestly,
150,000
what's it
views
called? There's a few one that really stood out to me is like a hidden banger that like may not be something that everyone knows of. It was one that I originally saw as it was a music video made with SFM, so the Source filmmaker, and it's called "Save Me" by Globus, and it was fucking so good. And the music video is a banger as well. The tune is like, ooh, like it's not one of those ones that like you hear on like the radio.
Oh, this isn't Fly For Your Life.
Fly For Your Life is another.
That's what I thought it was.
Dude, honestly, the music video for Fly For Your Life is so good, so good. The original.
Keep falling in love.
Yes, dude.
It's very good.
It's like just amazing.
Yeah.
And like the music video to it originally came from an animation. It's about 10 minutes long called Parts of Hate, and you can find the original on YouTube. We might link it if it's relevant, but it's so good. It's such a well-made piece of animation, so cinematic as well.
Does it mix in with live action? Am I thinking
it's not live action, but
I
it's
thought the one with the dudes on the mountain and he's walking around, and the one that you showed me that's really the one that you love.
no, I think that may have been Save Me.
Yeah.
The dude on the mountain?
Maybe? I don't know.
Perhaps? No, dude, honestly, this is what's great about music, right? You can make a music video to it and it just comes out like a fucking banger. Like, honestly, some of the best music videos I've seen would be Fly For Your Life with the clipped version of Parts of Hate, because that's just so good. The combined music video for what's it called? The Offspring's Dividing by Zero and Slim Pickens Does the Right Thing. The Offspring. They did.
I didn't know you were a fan of The Offspring, Adam.
Dude.
What?
Let's go.
What? Wait, is it the same with The Offspring that we're thinking of? I'm so confused.
Think so.
We gotta go to Spotify.
Yeah, let me bring it up.
Because I'm just like shocked that you listen to The Offspring.
I've just got some fucking shit on my goddamn playlist. I have, you know, everyone's like, oh, make me a Spotify playlist. I've just got like, oh, this one. No, like Fly For Your Life. Yeah. So good. Dividing by Zero and Slim Pickens by The Offspring here. These two. They did it. The original music video that I saw for it, was a combined video for both those songs. So literally, when the first one, Dividing by Zero, ends, Slim Pickens starts immediately, and it goes straight into it. Like the beat just continues straight into it. So good.
Yeah.
So good. Like it's such a you can't listen to you can.
Is this the same The Offspring?
Yeah.
Yes!
This is it.
This is one of my favorite bands. You know, the guy was a neurosurgeon, or he was something ridiculous. The lead singer. He's also got a degree in doctorate
discography. Here, it's album Days Go By.
Oh wow! So this is one I haven't heard.
Dividing by Zero, Slim Pickens.
Oh dude, they're
2012,
so good.
2012
so
album.
good.
And I saw this music video in like 2015, and I'm like, God damn, the animation is so fucking like I haven't listened to all of their songs, of course.
Dude, you gotta look
like
at Pretty Fly for a White Guy.
These other ones,
These
other ones. What's it called? Slim Pickens. And Dividing by Zero, they go hard. Their music video is so good. It's that's what originally drew me to it, because it's like I saw the music video, like the Vivo icon, whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like the music video's like 7 minutes long, and I'm like, what the fuck? Is this just like some weird soundtrack thing that's suddenly got a music video? It's 2 songs, like taped back to back, and it seamlessly transitions from one to another. I'm like, oh my god. So fucking good. And then what's it called?
I love a long music video where there's a
they're great. What's it?
I was listening to also Phil Collins in the air tonight this morning.
Yeah.
Do you know that one?
I haven't.
I can feel it coming.
Yeah, that one. I do know that one. Yeah.
Love that song.
Like, you know when you just hear a song and you know it, but you don't know the name? Yeah, that's what happened there. My People has a crazy music video.
How good is it?
It's so good.
Episode 7.5, guys, of the Roast Podcast, where we talk about My People.
Did I talk about waking up at like 5 in the morning watching Rage and seeing this music video and just being like, what the fuck am I watching, and why do I love it so much?
Yeah.
So good, so good.
That's about the refugee situation.
Yeah, I had no clue that what's it called, that the song and the band was made with was an Australian band made with an Australian undertones, you know.
When you listen to it's so Aussie obviously, but when you listen to those lyrics and get the context, you're like,
damn,
oh
okay,
wow, this has actually got a really sad connotation to it. I fucking love that song though. After you reminded me of it, I haven't heard it.
Good.
It's at every sporting event, music festival, like it's the opening song on the speakers.
It goes so hard.
Yeah,
it's just because like
slaps.
it doesn't like
slaps.
go up into its beat. It just instantly starts. It's so good. It just starts at 100% and it stays there. No. So good. Another one that I've been like, I don't know, I'm probably super autistic in this, but when I find a good song, I'll listen to it religiously for like a week, right?
Really?
Yeah.
Me too. Well,
So-
it's like, I'm like 4 days, just can't stop listening
So
to it. over and
another,
over.
so
The
like
Lil Nas song.
there's My People, another one that may not be so like well known.
Yeah.
Player One by Markine Supremacy.
Need to hear it? Haven't heard it?
I need to send it to you. It is so good. So good. I love it to bits. I love it to bits. It starts with like this really gradually growing like ensemble in the back, and it's got some banger lyrics. The only disappointing thing is that it doesn't have a different verse for its verse 2. It just reuses part of verse 1, which
That's
is like you can sort of understand. Yeah,
a lot of songs do that.
but that's fine. And then
I have another one just briefly. My favorite little known song, because these are all songs I haven't heard. But the best song I've ever heard that's like very little known is a song called Nearly Famous. There we go, by All Day. It's like
Send me that one.
just released on Spotify, and it's
crazy.
It's one of the best songs I've ever heard. But I don't know if it's your style. He's like, it's kind of like Australian alternative rap. That's kind of, but it still sounds great. It's got great lyrics, and it's like,
so I mean,
it's kind of a party.
yeah,
song,
no,
but it's still
that's
good.
fair enough. And
a
then
great song.
I've got my fucking Pendulum goddamn ensemble here.
I can't believe you listen to that.
I
Offspring, bro.
love-
That's so good.
Yeah, like, well, they're up the top of my thing. Like, this is in no real particular order.
Yeah.
Like, I'll literally start my thing at like here. But recently, so Pendulum, so good, so good. They're like, they're rhythm and bass, or rhythm and drums, or something like that. But they're like electronic rhythm and drums. They're really good, really,
just
really
works.
good.
Yeah.
And one that some of their ones that like aren't super great are like well, Hold Your Colour's my favorite. It's just a classic. Witchcraft, Mutiny, Salt in the Wounds. They are good. They're really solid. Slam, Pendulum Nightmares. They're good ones. The ones that I've been listening to religiously for the last few weeks have been Hold Your Colour, Nothing for Free, Come Alive, The Other Side, and Tempest. Come Alive is one of their newest ones.
Are they all from the same album?
No, they're all from different albums.
Oh.
Like you see the different covers. But Come Alive is their most recent one.
Yeah.
And it's got this really interesting music video attached to it.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's, what is it? It's like this, it's sort of hybrid live action animation.
Yeah.
Where it's like live action backgrounds and then got like an animated character
love
over
those. I love
it. They're really sick when they're pulled off correctly. But it's like this cat who's in like this like semi-retired state. He's fallen out of like fame, and but he had a partner which was like a mouse. So it's like, you know, Tom and Jerry, Itchy and Scratchy kind of dynamic,
Yeah.
right? But the cat fell out of, you know, fame, and the mouse just kind of exploded. And then what's his name? And it ends with like the cat is like resentful and all that towards the mouse for being the famous one and like remaining famous after their show's like heyday. And then
Grab your ball. That's a close encounter.
close encounter of the third kind.
That's that kid's podcast. I couldn't hold it. In.
That's
He just
alright.
kicked the ball right into the pillar.
That's awesome.
That he's gonna be remembered as the best cameo the Roast Podcast ever had.
The only cameo, I think.
Is he? Would he have made the shot? Do you reckon?
Potentially.
The only cameo.
Well, we've not had anyone else on, have we?
Oh, your mum has been in the background.
Yeah,
of the
she's
voice.
been in the background as a voice.
My mate timestamped one of our podcasts and said best beer right here, and you click on it, and it's your mum going, "Night, boys," and we're both in. You just said night.
Best part. That is the best part.
He's like
honestly.
some quality shit right there.
wholesome moment 100.
So funny.
But yeah, like
Jared,
these
my
are
mate, sorry.
these are the best. This is the best one because what happened was, and then at the end, the cat sees on the news that the rat has had like a drug overdose, and they're in the hospital, and the cat's like, "Oh shit, my mate! Like I may resent him now, but like my mate." We were mates for a long time there in the show.
Yeah.
And it ends with him running to the hospital and being like the only person at his side while he's recovering from this overdose. So it's like, you know, it ends pretty wholesome.
So it's like a really real Tom and Jerry, like a real life sort of
pretty much
consequences.
Pretty much,
Tom
but
and
it's
Jerry.
like
fucking rainbow. Sorry.
it's actually such a good song as well. Like just it's got such a good like beat, and the lyrics are awesome. But there's this one, you know, when you listen to a song and you just think that one lyric sounds strange. Like there's one lyric that just sounds weird. So in this song, there's the lines. It goes, "Hail to the seeker, reach another breakthrough, an inch for every hour. This is what it comes to." But it would sound so much better if it said an inch for every meter. Instead of inch for every hour.
They do that. They do that on purpose. They make it sound so nonsensical on purpose, so that you're listening to the song. And if that's like the theory that they do in films, when the viewer's drifting off, they have something in there that's just like, wait a minute, that's really strange.
Like I heard it, like everything about this song is a banger. Like it's a solid 9.
This bit annoys you.
It's like a 9 out of 10. But this one line, this one word that doesn't quite sync up in like an AB.
That's the point.
Is like.
That's the point. They've done that so you think about it.
ABCB, and I'm like, oh no, please! I'm so OCD about it. Every time I sing along to it, every single time I sing along to it, I say an inch for every meter instead of inch for every hour, and I feel so bad about it because I just want to, you know, sing along to the song and enjoy it. But I'm just like, fuck, no, it doesn't sound right.
That's why they do it.
That's why they do it. But they obviously they got me hard with that one. I won't lie. But yeah, it's so good. And I don't know if I told you, but the music video for Nothing for Free, Pendulum's Nothing for Free, I actually saw as an ad on YouTube. I don't know if I've told this story before. They paid for ad space, and the whole song played, its whole music video played. And I had no clue what it was initially. I didn't see, because you know how it usually comes with like a little box down the bottom corner that shows like what it is, like a logo or something. It had the album art there, but I didn't quite place what it was because it was a new album art. I didn't recognize it. I'm like, what the fuck am I listening to? Is this like a music video? It's like 2.5 minutes long. What? And I listened to it, and then I'm like, this song's actually fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Who made this? And I click on it, and I'm like, Pendulum made this. Spit water. I'm like having a crazy moment. Just like,
before.
This cannot be real.
Yeah.
No way that I would catch the ad for this band that that I adore. Like, it's one of my favorite bands, probably like top one, top favorite band, because I've got like half their discography or whatever. It's like, no way.
This sounds like me.
This ad, it's so crazy.
Mine's less of a coincidence.
That's the power of the algorithm, I suppose.
Exactly, and this one it came up in the algorithm last night, the little Nas song, and I was like, you know what? May as well just listen to it. May as well just see what it's like.
Yeah.
And I'm so fucking glad that I just gave it a shot because it's one of the best songs I've ever heard. But yeah.
Speaking of the algorithm,
Brilliant. The algorithm.
What's been your strange recommendations these last few weeks? I can tell you one. No.
Do you want me to tell you?
You give it some thought, because I've got a few options, right?
I mean, I want to wait a bit.
You want to wait a bit?
She walking past the dog, and if I mention what my strange recommendations been, she might just turn and be like, "What the fuck?" My recommendation last night, when the first thing I got recommended out of nowhere was, Danny, why did you come Tuesday?
Oh my god, I've not seen that one.
It's when the guy walks in and he goes, Danny, you can't come with your sister, she's on birth control. And the dad's like, Dad, just shut up! We're just kids. And the camera just pans back to the girl's face like,
is this like some fucking
it's from a porn.
obscure?
It's just so shit.
Okay.
They've just uploaded something that they're able to upload to a porno onto YouTube, and it's become a massive meme. Like, it's a huge meme if you play it.
Okay. I'm gonna have to look that one up, or have it, or send it to me or something, just for like the meme.
Can we watch it now?
No, we won't watch it now. We'll watch it later, maybe. I don't know.
But that's what my recommendations did, and I was like,
No, but I've been actually getting some like strangely awesome recommendations.
Really?
One that that I got recommended it about 4 weeks ago, and it was the Hoof GP, right? You've probably never heard of this guy, but what he does is he works as basically a toenail shearer for cows. And he's got this machine that catches them and raises their legs, and he like uses a grind saw to like clean their feet, because and this is like a big thing apparently, a huge industry, because if a cow is uncomfortable, it's not going to be profitable, right?
Yeah.
If it's getting infected, if it's becoming lame and infected and it's not able to walk, right? It's going to be in pain. The meat gets tougher. It won't produce milk, and it won't breed, right? If it's uncomfortable or in pain, right? So what this guy does is he comes along and he gets the cows in. It's called the crush or a lift, and it hoists them up, and he raises their legs up, and he tends to their feet, and like cleans them out of like all the muck that they get in between their toes. And it's so good. His videos are so well edited. He like genuinely cares for these animals, even though they're basically battery farmed or whatever. Like,
so he's just doing it. They're not his animals, are they?
They're not. No, he
just does it as community service.
He does it commercially. That's his job.
Oh, so
and he says he's been through so many jobs, but this is his forever job.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Being like a hoof trimmer.
You see those stories like that. That girl's taking a photo of the rainbow there. You see these stories like that where they're just like people who have this passionate job, and it's not just like this job that's not going to benefit anyone. It's a job that helps animals and people. It's like,
absolutely.
What a legend. It's
like
just,
this dude is
legend.
so passionate about his job. Every single video, like I can imagine that it's not just put on for the camera.
No way.
Because he seems so like energetic about it, and it's the fact that he'll get a cow into the run. I think it's called a run, where they all line up one after another into the crush, and it'll be limping or hobbling as it goes in, and when he's done, it'll walk out perfectly walking, and you can literally just see the transformation, and you're like, oh my god, it's so good.
And that's the thing, people who help sick animals, I've noticed, like the really ones that people, the cameras find and pick up, they don't put an act on for the cameras. That's just them. That's just who they are. Like Steve Irwin, he didn't try and even go, oh crikey mate, just like a character for the cameras.
Yeah, he wasn't a character for the camera.
No, that was him. And that was his genuine
character,
personality.
Which is like so awesome to see.
Animated about conservation and making sure animals are safe, and that was just his mantra.
His thing, yeah, exactly. Yeah. And that's like the vibes I get off this guy. And like every single video that comes out, I'm like watching it because they're so good. That's so good. Awesome. And like, oh, it's just awesome. And
so great. It's an actual like series.
Another one that came up today, and I was like, what the fuck? Why is this getting recommended to me? And then I watched it, and I'm like, holy fucking shit! This is actually so interesting. You'll probably find this super fucking humorous. The video was called "Why Gordon is the Most Important Character in Thomas the Tank Engine." And it was actually really, really interesting, right?
Wait a minute.
No. So,
wait a minute.
So the points were made.
Autism?
No. Listen.
The
points that were made it was basically how the show's called Thomas the Tank Engine, and it's supposed to follow Thomas.
Yeah.
But he said that the story, like the character that goes through the most growth in the story is Gordon. The longer blue train that does the express.
I'm vibing with you. I mean, we've gone a bit off guard.
No, but this is not. I'm talking about like the thing, and this is. But this guy was talking about it, and it's like, when you analyze something and you can see where the things come from.
Yeah.
The way he was analyzing it, I'm just like, oh my god, that actually makes so much sense, because he's talking about how at the beginning, right, the very first story was about the very first of the actual books, like the picture books that were originally made that Thomas the Tank Engine is based off, was about Edward and Gordon. Gordon was the new kid on the block. He was like the new. Oh, they do come on. Okay, that's sick.
Oh, that is awesome.
He was the latest and greatest in steam tech at the time, and so he was like a hot shot. He came in and he was like, "Ooh, I'm the best new thing. All you outmoded old trains are going to be left in the dust." And then all of like the stories about him learning a lesson. And he gets like more and more humble until at the very end.
Oh, so it's actually a good character arc.
It's actually like a really good character arc.
There you
go.
At
the end, the very last story has No, and one of the stories along the way actually has a real life comparison, because the Fat Controller, Satomahat, tells Gordon,
Come here.
oh, hello.
Yeah.
Like, of all the it has, there's a book there. I think the book was called Tenders for Henry, right? And it had a real life, and it was about death and losing a loved one, because the Fat Controller told Gordon that due to World War II happening at the time, all of the steam trains on mainland Britain were being melted down for aircraft and, like, for weapons steel, you know?
Thomas the Tank Engine became freaking.
No, but this is the only real one. So it's like, you know, the island of Sodor sort of exists on its own,
Yeah.
but it's like supposed to be off Wales and Britain. So it's like they're talking about like England and stuff, and and he says, you know, it directly says that Gordon's brothers and sisters were being melted down for aircraft bits, and Gordon, the character, they could have had any character confront this as part of their arc. It could have been Thomas. You know, most people would be like, oh, why isn't this a Thomas story? But the guy who made it had Gordon be the one to confront this truth about their reality, that, you know, they aren't infinite, that, you know, everything comes to an end, and that death is a real thing for their kind.
I never thought Thomas the Tank Engine got to this sort of nuances.
Yeah,
they managed to
and at the
tie into
end,
this
and
sort
at
of
the
stuff.
end, the very last episode has Gordon being replaced on his line, as he's the express line from one end of Sodor to the other.
Yeah.
He has him being replaced and him resigning by an electric train, and instead of getting blustery and, you know, like all hotshot, ooh, hoity-toity about it, he accepts it, because over the course of his line, over the course of his entire arc, he's gone from the one who would do the replacing to the one being replaced, and he realizes now that he's lived his good life, and he's now, you know, in a place where he doesn't need to prove himself anymore. He's done it. He's spent his 90 years, because canonically in the time frame between the first and last story, it's been 90 years. So he spent 90 years doing this one job, and he's done it well, and now he gets to resign,
So
and he
the story
accepts
just
that
went
humbly.
full circle,
And I'm
like
like listening to this
character
literary analysis of
is one YouTube video.
Gordon in Thomas the Tank Engine. I'm like, whoa, what the fuck
Pretty
have I
spaced
found?
out right now.
What the fuck have I found? Honestly, I was kind of like,
Surprisingly,
Damn.
you would have been pretty freaking surprised that a kids show could have like a
Yeah, honestly,
analysis
I'm
from
like,
a YouTube video. Because I want to see this now.
fuck. I'm like, holy shit, there's no way.
not
This is so crazy.
Yeah.
Like, honestly.
You keep going away from the
Sorry.
table. Now you're good.
And how, and he explained that, like, Gordon has the most interactions with all the other characters. He literally has the most interactions with all the other characters out of any of the cast. Like, Thomas meets most of them, but he doesn't talk to some of the more obscure side characters. Gordon meets everyone, pretty much. And Gordon is always the one being humbled by the lesson. Like, he, you know, is too confident, and he ends up getting snowbanked or running off the rails, or, you know, boastful, and then he ends up, you know, missing his timetable, or his brakes fail or something.
Yeah.
And he honestly gets a fucking walloping over the course of the series. He gets some, like, shit happens to him. Like, he genuinely goes through some, like, deep damage.
Yeah.
And he comes out the other end like a full person.
I never would have picked these sorts of themes
I'm
from
like,
Thomas
oh
the
my
Tank
God, what the
Yeah.
So, and I'm genuinely, like, I thought about this all day. While I was at work, I was thinking about, holy shit, this makes so much sense. Like, of all the literary analysis that, you know, I read in lit class,
One on Thomas the Tank Engine was
the one on
best.
Thomas the Tank Engine about how Gordon was the main most important character, I thought it'd just be some bullshit about how, the logistics of the island of Sodor have him being the most important because he runs the most important line. No, he's literally the most important, like in the literal sense of the story and literally in the sense of the word, the most important character in the Thomas the Tank Engine series. And I'm like, there's no way I would have ever picked up on this. This has just like blown my fucking childhood because I used to watch Thomas all the time.
I never saw it. I reckon I saw a few episodes.
I saw quite a bit of it. Like it was interesting.
So it's like a nostalgic thing that you just remember.
A little bit, yeah, a little bit like that. Yeah,
together when you see a video like
exactly. And I'm like, damn, someone went in on this like analysis.
Yeah, they really did.
And they didn't like fucking. It wasn't like stupid or satirical or just like kids show literary analysis. The mark of a good kids show, I don't know, someone said it before. Mark of a good like piece of kids entertainment is that it can be entertaining for everyone.
Yeah.
Like that it has something.
It's not just a little kids show.
It has something for the kids that are watching it and the parents that are watching it and the kids.
It's like Shrek.
Like Shrek is a good kids film because haha, ogre farts in the mud and the bubbles come up, But then it also has a really deep message about how you need to, love yourself and not worry about what other people think about you.
Absolutely.
And it's like, the 7-year-old that watches because haha, funny fart bubbles is not going to get that secondary, love yourself message. But the adult that's watching with them,
so there literally is,
will get that and be like, holy shit.
Yeah.
And that's honestly just goes to show that like it's not just some like bullshit that's made to entertain kids for half an hour and away they go. No. It's like
it's got a real story.
It's got a real story to it. And I watched this video as I was waking up this morning. Like it came up in my recommended because I kind of like when I got up and checked my Discord. I check Reddit for something interesting to watch. If I don't find something, I'll go onto YouTube. I usually end up going onto YouTube, popping in the headphones, and then going downstairs to make something if I'm on a day off or like weekend. And this video popped up, and I'm like, why am I getting recommended this? And then I remembered like the other stuff that I got recommended, like the Hoof GP that I like now watch really regularly.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, maybe they're onto something. I might give this one a watch because it was like 12 minutes. No, it was 15 minutes long, right? And I'm like, okay, it's 15 minutes long, so obviously there's some real deep dive analysis here, and like it's got some decent views.
Yeah. I want to watch this video and then watch this podcast back and really just be like, nice, because I'm in the dark.
Honestly,
right
I have to link it to you.
Yeah.
It's such a good video.
I know, I'll be interested in it because I never
made.
really saw Thomas the Tank Engine a lot. Hearing those words, Thomas the Tank Engine, I always thought little kid show, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
And man-child fans. That's
what I thought until I watched this video, and I'm like, no way.
Yeah.
I had no clue that they, that the character, that the creator, tied it in with like the World War II stuff, and that was like the most. Because this is supposed to be kids' story.
It's an adult show hidden in a kids' show.
That's what
way.
makes a good fucking kids. Yeah. That's what makes good kids entertainment.
Yeah.
People will be like,
adult themes hidden in.
Yeah, but not like haha, sex joke or whatever that the kids won't get. It's like a genuine message that you get the surface level messages when you're a kid.
Yeah.
Haha, funny fart bubbles. Love everyone, even no matter what they look like, or don't be a dickhead like Farquaad or whatever.
Like C. Don't be a dickhead like C.
Yeah, exactly. But then you watch Shrek later, like 5-10 years later, and you're like, okay, but it's not about loving other people. It's about learning to love yourself, learning to let people 100%. In.
100%.
Because Shrek is all closed off in his thing, and he's putting up signs to say, "Stay away from the ogre." And then Donkey comes along, and Donkey doesn't give a fuck about what Shrek wants. He's just like, I've got a friend now. Save me from the fucking Farquaad's men.
I got something really quickly
like,
to tell you after you finish this train of thought. Continue.
Just like, oh my god, it's about, how even the most outwardly nasty looking person or nasty seeming person can have a really soft inside when their armor comes down.
Absolutely.
I'm like, I would never have gotten that on my first watching of Shrek. I would have never gotten all this stuff about Thomas the first time I watched or read Thomas. And it's like, it just made me think about like all these other kids shows that I watch. Am I missing some like super interesting like literary deep dive on
In all of the other ones.
on all these other kids shows
Not
that I
Shark
watch?
Tale though. Shark Tale's crap.
Yeah. And there's some shows that you can't get anything out of.
Yeah.
Like I'd argue
There's a lot that you can't get anything out of.
I'd argue some of them more recent series of seasons of stuff like Fairly Odd Parents you most likely wouldn't be able to get anything out of.
I mean, the show wasn't terrible at the beginning, was it?
No, it wasn't terrible at the beginning, but it definitely has declined. And I'm still fucking shut off that they cancelled Jimmy Neutron
I
as
heard
opposed
this
to...
in a podcast that we did recently. I'm still pissed off.
It
Parents
still
got to
gets
live
me.
and Jimmy Neutron
It still
died.
gets me every single fucking time when I think about it. So
I
annoying.
love these callbacks. Yeah, no, it is bullshit. I was just gonna, before we Sab, have you finished with everything? I mean, up to you if you want to keep going.
No, I mean, we
Sorry.
can keep going as long as you like. I just super got on a roll.
No, that's all good.
Talking about like
As long as I
the
haven't
YouTube
cut you off
algorithm
early.
can-
I just don't want to cut you off early.
I'm perfectly fine over here.
I was gonna quickly tell a story that my brother told us last night at dinner. He said in the original Shrek film that the bears, the two little bears are at the beginning. The three little bears, bears. You know the
Were
story?
there three
Yeah,
bears?
there was the mother bear, the dad bear, and the little kid, and they're all in separate cages, and they're all like,
Oh, yeah.
at the beginning.
I remember them.
And then you go to the swamp, and the mother bear's nowhere to be seen. It's just the father bear and the son. They're both crying, like, they're at the swamp still crying, when everyone else is like cheering. And
Yeah.
you're like watching it going, oh, okay.
Was that a thing? I never noticed that.
I never noticed this either, but get ready for the finale of this little character arc that's hidden. You go to Lord Farquaad's room in his castle, and the mother bear with her bow is on the floor as the castle.
Oh no! Oh my god! That's a real detail. I remember that now. The fucking bear. He does have a bear rug. Ah no!
The bow is
cursed.
still in the mother bear's.
That's so cursed. That's
Pink bow.
that's something that only like the most fucking like super attentive people would get.
It's excellent. It's hilarious.
I never noticed that the bears were even in the crowd there.
Oh.
You know, when they were all cheering and stuff.
Yeah.
At what's his name's house?
I don't know how
At the swamp?
I don't know how my brother figured that out. I was like, dude, how did you get? I've seen Shrek about 15 times and I've still never picked that up.
That's cursed and like dark as fuck. But that's
Of course, Tom figures out the darkest fuck themes of a show.
That's actually, oh my god.
We all love Shrek in our family.
Wow, really?
It's so great. But on that hilarious note, we're going to finish episode 29. The biggest episode yet, we hope, is coming up, being filmed very shortly. It's episode 30. It's got all the rest of the topics I wrote down. It's got the sea rant. It's got everything. So we're just going to deep dive into whatever we want to deep dive like we did just then. And we're fucking keen.
Hell yeah.
So here we go. And hopefully it gets a little bit darker and our kids run away from the footy oval. But there is lights at the footy oval. which
Maybe
is
we
cool.
could relocate or something.
We could. It's not that bad here, but we'll see how we go. We might go for a little walkabout for like the end of the 30th podcast to like kind of reminisce maybe on the last 30 episodes or something, whatever we want to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, cheers guys.
Well, these last few have been kind of a love letter to the other ones with all the callbacks and stuff.
They have. They've been nice. We haven't had enough podcasts. We need to do more.
Yeah,
Episode 50, State Library, let's hope, in the podcast centre.
State Library, let's
But
go.
Thank you guys.